Here we go again. Yes, yes, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Uncensored News. Real news you can use, no cap or facts. I'm your girl, Steph Lover, but you already know that, and it's been a long time. Sorry I left you without a dope rhyme to step to. So here's one. Is Method Man done for sleeping with Sun? aka Wendy Williams, Kim KKK's robbers trying to get their bands up. Meanwhile, GameStop effing the stock market plans up. And we less than a week away from Super Bowl 55, so stick around for another uncensored interview with former NFL player Lamont Jordan. But first, let's jump into this week's headlines. Yeah, T.I. and Tiny has taken a family hustle to a whole new level for all the wrong reasons. And I need answers expeditiously. Yes, pun intended. A woman named Sabrina Peterson, who was Tiny's BFF for several years, recently went viral for accusing T.I. of putting a gun to her head. Dun 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 dun. Yes, well, that revelation prompted an immediate response from Mrs. Hers, addressing her ex-bestie in an IG post filled with nothing but shade and filth and slander. She basically said old girl been stalking her for quite some time, and enough is enough. Leave her family alone. Welp. Then the tea spilt in the form of screenshots of DMs from alleged victims of T.I. and Tiny. Over 20 women, yes, have alleged instances of sexual abuse, assault, kidnapping, drugging, even rape. Adios mios. One woman alleges that she was required to take drugs before entering their home, and two others allege T.I. gave them incurable STDs. This time, T.I. responded with an 8-minute IG video using a bunch of big words and basically telling anybody who would listen, nigga, you don't know me or what I do behind closed doors.
So, as y'all could probably guess or imagine, it's been extremely difficult for me to remain quiet in light of all the things that have transpired, all of the egregious allegations that's been tossed around about me and my wife. And I don't mind sharing it. You see, if a person does not have any right to criminally or civilly have you in court, they have no right. The best thing they could do is get you for a defamation suit, drag you in court, make you pay their legal bills, to get you in court. Now, I mean, at this point, man, it's at the point where that don't even matter to me no more, okay? But that's the motive, that's the strategy, that's the intention. Say a whole bunch of false stuff about you that get people to believe and make them come out and say, they're a liar, they're a liar, they're a liar. And then they can say, see, they call me a liar. That's defamation. Then they drag you in court, get you under oath and all that. Because unfortunately right now, it doesn't matter as much what they can prove you did. It matters what you can prove you didn't. You know what I mean? And that's just an unfortunate place that our society has made it to. But I want to be clear about one thing. Women who have been victimized deserve to be heard. Women, black women in particular, should be supported, protected, defended, and uplifted.
Whoa. Well, that was just the beginning.
First and foremost, I want to say my wife is a beautiful person with an amazing spirit and a kind heart. She's a devoted mother, and she has a humble soul. She don't deserve it. She don't deserve it. Now, what we're not gonna do is open up the door to my bedroom, as you shouldn't have to either. Open up the door to my bedroom for everybody to come in and chime in and make their opinions about what we do and don't do or should or shouldn't do. But I will say this, whatever we ever have done has been done with consensual adults who into what we into and like what we like. If we want something, we know exactly where to go to get it. We ain't never forced nobody. We ain't never drugged nobody against their will. We ain't never held nobody against their will. We ain't never made nobody do anything. We ain't never trafficked anything. Well, sexually traffic anything. I ain't never raped nobody. Never raped nobody.
One thing for sure, two things for certain, they gonna cancel that damn Family Hustle. ASAP, ASAP. You can't be drugging and swinging groupies and then giving advice on how to be a girl dad. You think? Okay, so while you digest that, get ready for another reality check. Mic check 1, 2. Legendary actress Cicely Tyson passed away this week at the age of 96. She was pure black magic, who just recently released her memoir, Just As I Am. She also won 3 Emmys, a Tony, and an Oscar. But did you know she was married to legendary jazz musician Miles Davis? And here's what she had to say about him just 2 days before she passed away in an interview on CBS This Morning with Gayle King.
They were married for 7 years, but their romance spanned decades. Friends always wondered, why in the world are you with Miles Davis? Because you're right. He was unfaithful. He was abusive. You said Miles needed to be saved from himself, and you needed someone to save.
Well, listen, people who hurt, it's always the person that is closest to them that they hurt. And I was in love with him. He was a beautiful human being.
But you know what? On his deathbed, he wanted you to know that he was...
Sorry. Tell Cicely I'm sorry.
Was he the love of your life?
Yes.
Was he? But did you think you could never find love like that again?
I haven't.
You haven't. Have you been looking?
No.
I'll ask you this. What does it feel like to be 96 and a legend, Miss Legend?
I'm amazed every single day I live.
Wow. Rest in peace to a real Hollywood legend. Now, Wendy Williams, on the other hand, damn near broke the internet when she made the revelation on DJ S216's podcast that she had a one-night stand with METHOD, man from Wu-Tang. Hold up, B. Hold up. I feel a little nauseous. Wendy states it happened back in her coke days, but let her tell it, because I can't believe Clifford Smith, fine ass, would violate the 36 chambers and give Wendy the killer D.
The only thing I did, I smoked a blunt with with Method Man, while I gave him a bath, and it was a one-night stand. And
what?
And he'll deny it, maybe not. You know,
that wasn't in the movie.
It wasn't in the movie. It wasn't in the movie because Method Man is still very angry at me.
For what?
I don't know, for being me, for telling the truth. It was one night we were in the club, a fight broke out and gunshots broke out. The fight was ridiculous. The whole Wu-Tang was there, but it was only Meth up in the rafters. And see, that's where I'd go to observe everything because I was by myself. And he's like, yo, Wendy, because he'd been on the show before, and he was effed up. And I smelled the weed, and I had weed, but he had better, you know. I didn't roll blunts. I rolled joints because I was never really a blunt roller, and they're sloppy. He rolled a blunt. We smoked a blunt. We watched the fight. We heard the gunshots. The cops came in. He was rolling with the car from Staten Island with the whole clan and their people. And I said to him, I guess I batted my eyes and rocked my shoulders, how you do.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, you want to come over? And he said, yeah, I'll follow you. And I said, give me your hand. And I grabbed his hand, and he put his head down, and I put my head down, and people didn't even realize at the time it was Wendy, and one of the biggest stars, the leader of the biggest group in the world, just left, got in her Pathfinder, and went back to her penthouse in Jersey City, where she bathed him in her jacuzzi tub.
Wow.
And smoked more weed. That was back in the coke days. I don't remember what he did. I'm not going to implicate him on that. I did give.
I don't know if I'm asking too much, but did you guys go all the way?
Yes.
Wow.
What are you, stupid?
Now, she did kind of blurt this out while she was promoting her, little Lifetime movie and documentary, What a Mess. I mean, what a mess. She didn't even know whether it was Method Man or Red Man. Was it the coke? Was it the weed? I do know one thing, though. Rumor has it, allegedly, that Meth is not mad at her about the little sex escapade, but because she opened her big mouth and told the world that his wife, his real wife, had cancer, and at the time they didn't want to disclose that to the world. So let the lesson be MYOB, and you could keep getting a good D. Moving right along. Speaking of the Caucasian persuasion, let's get into some white people news. Hey, Karen. Justin Timberlake has a new movie coming out called Palmer. He also just announced a new COVID baby with his wife, Jessica Biel. This news coming several months after JT was caught cheating. He was getting cozy with his Palmer co-star. I feel like that's definitely a sign that they're headed for divorce. Because as soon as they try to save a marriage with a baby, that's like sprinkling a little sugar on shit. You can cover the smell, but for how long? Anyway, the world's first pop-up airport for electric flying cars is set to open in the UK this year. Say word. Word. The West Midlands city has been selected by South Korean car manufacturer Hyundai to launch the first ever pop-up airport. You heard about this, B? Well, now you heard. This sounds like some old George Jetson type shit. But I just got a couple of questions. Like, when did they invent flying cars? I didn't get the memo on that. I mean, are they skipping a few steps? Shouldn't they actually invent a flying car before they have a whole airport for flying cars? I'm just saying. One of the men accused of robbing Miss Kim K in Paris is releasing a tell-all book years after Miss West was gagged, tied up, and robbed, not in a video with Ray J, but in a hotel room back in 2006. Eunice Abbas is snitching on himself. Yes, his name is Abbas. With the book set to be released on February 4th, it's called I Sequestered Kim Kardashian. Da 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 da. I can't make this shit up. I really can't. In it, Eunice, who is still awaiting trial, tells how he and his crew got in all of Kim's info from some elderly people that were staying in her hotel. He also gives details about when they broke in, how Kim K tried to dial 911, but in Paris, to alert authorities, the number is 112. Yeah. He even tells how they escaped on bicycles with over $10 million in jewelry, including her engagement ring that Yeezy gave her. But wait, why is he still on trial 6 years later? I mean, what did his lawyers say besides I quit when he announced this book coming out while he's still on trial? 2 words, dodo. Anyway. Y'all know the Super Bowl is this Sunday, and in a few short minutes, I got former NFL player, running back Lamar Jordan. He's from the DMV. Yes, he's going to give us a little breakdown about them Chiefs versus Bucks, all the predictions, give or take a few touchdowns. Yeah. And since we're talking really big rings, the king, LBJ, LeBron James, was recently labeled a racist by one NBA fan in his hometown of Cleveland, no less. Where is the respect? Goodness gracious. Now, what had happened was, it's about to be a terrible story when it starts like that. The Lakers were playing the Cavs last week when a fan was spotted in the stands holding up t-shirts that read, LeBron is a racist and LeBron is a narcissist. Upon approach, the fan became a little aggressive and rushed the security guard and then was promptly removed. After the game, LeBron didn't comment on the incident, but was just genuinely happy that the disgruntled fan didn't comment on his roller coaster hairline. Silver lining and everything. Now, let's take it from basketball to football, aka soccer. Soccer's biggest star, Lionel Messi's contract recently leaked, and according to reports, is the biggest sports contract in history. Messi was reportedly paid. Y'all ready for this? $673 million, 919 and some change over 4 years, including a guaranteed signing bonus and a loyalty bonus of over $150 million in cohort cash. Cha-ching! And his contract is up in 4 months, in June or something like that. So you know he about to re-up that bag, and I'm sure it's gonna be a go. Y'all see where I went with that, right? Okay. All right, y'all. It's going to be a virtual Super Bowl Sunday this weekend with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going face-to-face in Tampa Bay. Smells like a little home cooking to me. But anyway, they're going against the defending Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs, with the MVP, Patrick Mahomes, all set, ready to go. You know, he said he was only 5 when Tom Brady entered the NFL. And Tom was around 40 by the time he played his first NFL game. Just a little FYI there. And not to mention the fact TB12 is going to be playing in his 10th Super Bowl. If he wins, he's going to be 7 for 10. If he's not the GOAT, then I don't know who is. But in this area, my man Lamont Jordan got GOAT-like tendencies. So we're going to check in with him. He's a former running back in the NFL for the New York Jets and the Oakland Raiders. And we're going to hear what he has to say about Super Bowl 55 right here live on Uncensored News. It's an uncensored interview coming your way right now. All right, y'all, Uncensored News, Uncensored interview coming at you right now. As promised, I got Lamont Jordan right now via Zoom from, where you at? Where you at, El?
We're in Maryland. You know, I stay in the DMV.
In the DMV, no doubt. I feel you on that right there, baby. You ready? Are you ready for this weekend?
Oh yeah. I'm really excited. I can't. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the game. It's a lot of storylines in this game.
Well, let's talk about those storylines. We got the Bucks versus the Chiefs. It's home cooking. They playing in Tampa Bay. So, I mean, come on now. Like, what is going on? Like, could this end any more perfectly for Tom Brady? Seriously, this is his 10th Super Bowl. This is home cooking. I mean, how can you bet against him at this point?
I mean, the way you can bet against them is you got Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid on the other side with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. But to your point, you know, to be the GOAT, 10th Super Bowl, and you might be on your way out to play this game at home for Tom Brady. I mean, you couldn't have written a better story than this.
So the question is, Lamont, was it Tom Brady making Belichick look like a genius all these years? It's kind of looked like that to me, because the coach of the Bucks, he said he don't do much. He let Tom be a coach out there. So which one is it? What do you think it is? Because you played for Belichick before. Is he that good of a coach, or is Tom that good of a player?
To be honest with you, I'm gonna go with. I think you have to take a little bit of both, but it always starts with the head coach. You've seen a lot of head coaches who will just have a lot of talent around them, who have a hard time making it to the playoffs. You're talking about a man that's been to 9 Super Bowls. He's won not just as the head coach of the Patriots, but he's also won as an assistant. I think you have to give Brady credit for taking what he learned under Belichick's system and then being able to go somewhere else. And I think that when people have this discussion, you have to look at this. Tom Brady going to the Bucks, he is given the most weapons he has ever had in his entire football career. You're giving the GOAT that many weapons. That would be like Bill Belichick going over to the Rams with the weapons that they have, or going over to Kansas City with the weapons that they have. So I don't think it's a fair argument to use this year to measure the two. But to answer your question, I'm going to go with Belichick one, and then it's the player. For me, it's always the head coach sets the foundation. He lays out the lay of the land, and then it's up to you as a player to go in, learn it, adapt, and adapt to it. And then once you get an opportunity to go somewhere else, apply those things. And Tom Brady's done a good job of that.
He definitely has, boy. And he been loving it over there. He got Gronk over there. And you know what? You said something about quarterbacks and the Rams. I know you just heard about the big swap that's not even going to be legal till sometime in March. But We got Goff going over here. He was just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and now he's going to Detroit. And then you got Matt Stafford, who is switching places, going to the Rams with all the pieces that you just said. Like, what's going on? What happened?
I tell you what, I think Matthew Stafford is happy to be out of Detroit.
He damn sure is. Damn sure is.
If I'm Goff, I'm sitting there like this, just wiping my head. Like, I'm going from having all of these weapons, having an awesome play caller and Sean McVay, to now I'm going over to Detroit, who's practically rebuilding. For Jared Goff, it's tough. But if you're a Rams fan, if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, he can run that offense. They got weapons.
Matthew Stafford got a bag in Detroit too. Now he going to get a little sunshine. That stadium they just built is crazy. So
he's that's a great situation for him. Great situation.
And as far as great situations go, give me some of the pros and cons of the two teams in Super Bowl 55. Let's focus in on that. Worry about next year. So Mahomes just coming off a concussion. TB12 old as dirt in football years anyway, but I do see him riding off to the sunset if he get a W. So what you think is going to be the determining factor coming this Sunday if you a betting man or woman?
I mean, there are too many factors to look at. Not only do you have the GOAT playing against, an up-and-coming possible GOAT, you're talking about when you talk about quarterback tight end duos, you're talking about Mahomes and Kelsey versus Brady and Gronk.
Ooh,
and
I didn't even think about that. See, that's why you the professional.
Gronk has been pretty quiet. He's been pretty quiet these last couple of games, but we all know what Gronk can do in big times. And if he decides to wake up, he's going to make this game very interesting. For me, it's very simple. If the Bucs can keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket, don't allow him to get outside the pocket and make those plays, I think the Bucs going to have a chance. And for Tampa Bay, Mike Evans got to catch the ball. Mike Evans has to catch the ball. I think Gronk is going to be big. Tampa Bay has to get their run game going. If they can get their run.
AB's a question mark. Nobody knows if AB's going to play or not.
Yeah, you don't know if he's going to play, but I tell you what, the Bucs have a guy, I forgot his first name, Johnson. He's a rookie. If he plays, I think that he can be a critical piece for the Tampa Bay Bucs, because all he does is catch every football that Tom Brady throws his way. It doesn't matter if it's a good ball, if it's a bad ball, he makes the plays. When it comes down to it, when the Bucs signed Tom Brady, my first thought was the Bucs are going to win the Super Bowl. When they signed Gronk after that, I was ready to double down on it. Then you bring in Antonio Brown. Another
it
story.
It just seems too perfect for me. It just seemed like when they were lining up for that perfect season, you know what I'm saying? And then my man Plex was like, hold up. It just. I mean, this is 2021. Remember how 2020 and 2021 been playing out. So expect anything, I'm just saying, like, it looks like so perfect with Tom Brady, and that part scares me.
Hey, here's where, when you talk about another storyline, when you look at the two Super Bowls that Tom Brady lost, I believe Steve Spagnuolo was the defensive coordinator, where he's now the defensive coordinator over there with the Kansas City Chiefs. So you're talking about having Tom Brady playing against the defensive coordinator that he's lost to before in the Super Bowl. Andy Reid playing against Tom Brady, who he lost to in the Super Bowl before. Quarterback tight end matchup galore. You got AB, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Gronk, you have Kelsey. I think that what this thing is going to come down to is which team can minimize their mistakes. And I'm going to stick to my gut. This is just my gut.
Who you got? I'm
going with Tom Brady. I'm going with Tom Brady in the butt.
I'm a little late on that game stock. So who you got? I'm trying to make up for it.
Listen, if you're watching this and you're betting, this is not a bettor's bet. This is not a bettor's prediction. This is me being a fan of Tom Brady, being a fan of
you biased. I forgot you used to play
coach.
with him.
And not only that, you also got to think about this. No other head coach has as many former players and black assistants as Bruce Arians does over there with the Bucks. So I think that that's something that we all want to take into account.
Oh, so it's a black thing. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, Byron Leftwich, a young guy from the DMV. I'm rooting for the Bucks. I'm gonna go with the Bucks in this game. I think that this would be a Super Bowl where I don't see any team scoring 30 points in this Super Bowl. I don't think that this is going to be a shootout, a high scoring game. I think that the Bucks are going to try to control things with the run, slow things down, be efficient. So I'm not expecting a high scoring game, but I am expecting an exciting game. And I'm going with Bruce Arians, Tom Brady, and the Bucks.
Okay. All right. Putting it all out there like that. I'll see you. Oh, on a serious note, have you heard about this Seattle linebacker that kind of had a domestic violence incident? And they don't seem to be, you know, giving it the same level as they did, you know, Ray Rice. Like I mean, that was video, but I seen the pictures of homegirl face, and
yeah. Now,
don't seem a little unparalleled.
It's not. Listen, as a man, I really don't condone in putting your hands on a woman. But in these times, I mean, at the end of the day, you got a white male that basically almost beat the life out of an African American woman for not bowing down to him. First thing that I read in a statement, I think within the first 5 sentences, they made it a point to put it out there that he has some mental issues.
Correct.
Like this, if you out there on that football field, listen, you're a pro. I want to hear no excuses and no explanations. You need to take your meds. There's no excuse. There are no explanations for what this man did. I mean, it's bad enough that as football players, we have this perception, the way people look at us as being barbarians and things of that nature.
Super
but
aggressive.
In this time where especially with all the social injustice that's going on, just with everything that's going on in society right now, and to have this happen and to not have enough people in the mainstream media pointing this out, there's no excuses, there's no explanation. At the end of the day, this man does not deserve to play in the National Football League again. And yes, he needs to get help, but there's no excuse for what took place with that situation. There's no reason that a man that big should leave a woman left the way that he left her, and to say that I thought that you were dead. That's not cool at all.
Yeah,
it's not a representation of the NFL. It's not. That's not who we are as men that played the game of football, and there's no excuse for it.
His blockhead ass is going to jail. Facts on facts. And before I get you up out of here, so what are you up to now? Are you coaching? What are you doing now? I know last time you was coaching high school. Are you still coaching? Are you still doing the Maryland games? What you doing?
Yeah, so this past season, I'm still the Maryland analyst. I call the Maryland games on the team 980 with the great Johnny Holiday.
Okay.
No longer at the no longer coaching high school. Right now, I'm trying to do what every parent is trying to do, and that's navigate through this homeschool stuff.
No doubt.
That's what I'm up to right now. Chilling, spending time with my son, just enjoying life.
I got you, baby. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out. You know how we rock always. Lamont, you know how you give it up on and off the field. Such a good guy. I appreciate you giving your in-depth analysis of Super Bowl 55 all the way live right here on the Uncensored News. It's an Uncensored interview, live and direct. Appreciate you, L.
No problem, man.
All right, thanks again to my guy, Lamont Jordan, for checking in. Appreciate the love. Either way, y'all stay safe out there. COVID is still out here creeping like the Grim Reaper, so y'all be careful. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the rest of your week. Appreciate the love. Remember, follow my YouTube channel. Subscribe, The Real Stuff Lover. All the way live is Uncensored News. Peace.